What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another DIY BRI tool review. In this video we're going to be comparing and testing 6 of the top major screwdriver brands. Let's see what happens to the Stanley here. Alright Stanley, years of building tools. With all the different brands on the market today, it can be confusing on which brand to buy and a little bit of a crapshoot. To help narrow down which screwdriver set to buy, we're going to be doing some tests and some comparisons. We're going to test these screwdrivers with their durability, their tip quality, the torque, just the overall use. We're going to be comparing the price, the warranties, what comes in each one of the sets, so we can hopefully narrow down which is the best value. Alright, so after we complete the comparisons and do the testing, we're going to be comparing these brands. We've got Kobalt, Tekton, Stanley, Craftsman, Snap-on, and Klein. We're going to be comparing their warranty, the quantity, the size options, price, purchase options, tip strength, torque, power, the handle, grip, durability, and the overall use. Alright guys, so for the actual use of the screwdrivers, how they feel, use out of these things, that kind of stuff. Let me just kind of go over these 4 brands here. So the Craftsman Screwdriver Set, this was actually my first screwdriver set that I bought as a young adult. I may have had some screwdrivers when I was younger, but when I was 17 I got a job as a technician for Firestone. And when I started there, my dad and I went shopping for a set of tools, and I bought one of those big master Craftsman sets that comes with sockets and ratchets and all that stuff to get me started out. And these Craftsman screwdrivers were what was in the set. So I've had these since I was 17 years old. So what is that, 20 years. So I've had these Craftsman screwdrivers for the last 20 years. I think I've got a pretty good idea of how they use and feel because I've used these off and on for the last 20 years. I'm not going to go through and do a overall use test with these because I've used them for 20 years. The Snap-on was my second set of screwdrivers. So after using the Craftsman for many years, I decided that I wanted to try a Snap-on set. I was sold on these Snap-on screwdrivers because I borrowed them from a few of the senior technicians that I worked with. And one of the Snap-on reps came by and he had one of those little torque testers. And what we would do is we would stick the brand of screwdriver that you had into the adapter and then a Snap-on in the other side, and we would try to torque these out of the other person's hand. And what we found was the Snap-on, hands down, had so much more torque that you could always twist this tool out of any other brand we tried as hand using that funny little selling tool. So I was probably early 20s, maybe 19 actually, when I bought this set, somewhere around there. And actually, come to think of it, I had a set just before this that I bought that had the old plastic only handle. It didn't have this little bit of softness to it. So this is my second set of Snap-ons. I think I traded in my first set when these came out. So I've had these for probably at least 10 years anyways. So I've put these to use at a professional setting for a lot of years. They've taken a lot of abuse. Phenomenal screwdriver, and to this day I would say has got to be, probably one of my favorite screwdrivers. The Cobalt Set, I do a lot of kind of little mobile projects, and I keep this set of screwdrivers in a bag that I take kind of mobile. So it's just a quick, easy bag that I keep back here in this cabinet here that makes it real easy for me to get to a job with some tools. I take these with me on that. I've done that for the last 5 years. So I've got a good idea of how these Cobalts use. About 6 months ago, I think Tekton sent me these screwdrivers here, and I have tried to use these every single time that I've needed a screwdriver rather than these other brands that I've had, just so I could get an idea of how they use, and I've got a good idea how these work overall, and I've loved them so far. But I haven't had a chance to check out these Kleins. I bought these specifically for the review. I've heard good things about them. I want to try them out, and I have not heard anything, or I haven't tried these Stanley screwdrivers here. I've never owned a set of Stanley screwdrivers. So I'm going to open this package up here and try them out in kind of a limited application. I'm going to pull the plastics off this little Honda 50 here with the Stanley set, and then I'm going to reinstall the plastics with the Klein set and just kind of get an idea of how they feel. I know it's not a super testament to how they work, but being as I have been a mechanic for the last 20 years and I've used a lot of screwdrivers, I think I'll probably be able to fairly quickly determine if I like these things or not. Okay, so right off the bat, I was having trouble with the Stanley screwdriver. I was using the stubby Phillips and couldn't get that main Phillips screw off of the plastic there. So I was trying some different screwdrivers. I first was using the Stanley, then I moved over to the Snap-on to see if I could get this. The screw was really stuck in there, and actually the Snap-on was twisting on the head. So I tried the Tekton screwdriver and ended up getting the thing right off there. The Craftsman was having a tough time with the size of this head, but when I got the Tekton on there, it was actually able to break it loose. Alright, now to put the plastic back together, I was able to use the Klein set. This is the first time I've ever used a set of Klein screwdrivers. I've owned lots of different Klein products and have been really impressed with them in the past, and I do really feel that the quality of these screwdrivers is really good. I really like the handle, the shank, and just the overall quality and the tip of these screwdrivers I think is top notch. Alright guys, so now we're going to be doing the torque test, and I personally think this is probably one of the most important things when considering a screwdriver. You want the handle to be of the shape, size, and strength to be able to get a really good torque onto the screw head. And what we're going to do is we're going to drill 6 different holes. We're going to have a screw hole for each brand, and we're going to stick a grabber screw down into this solid piece of oak and drill a real small hole for the screw to drive down into, and compare each brand on how well it's able to drive the screw down into the wood. Are we going to slip off the top of the head? Are we going to be able to have the grip with the handle? We're going to be comparing how these different brands are able to push the screw down into this solid piece of oak. All right, so let's drill some holes in this piece of wood here. Ah, smell of oak. All right, we've got all 6 screwdrivers there lined up. We've got the screws put into the piece of wood. Now we're going to check to see the torque of each one of these brands. All right guys, so the first one we're going to compare is going to be the Tekton. When you first start the screw into this piece of oak, it goes pretty easy, but as you start getting down into it a ways, it starts to get pretty hard to turn. So what we're going to see is how well this screwdriver is able to drive this down in there. Now already I could tell just the shape of this handle, how it has these extra little bumps in it. You've got a couple down here, and then it's got a real strong but yet soft handle there that allows you to really grip to this. So far I'm pretty impressed with the torque out of this screwdriver. And also my head of the screwdriver here is not slipping off yet. I'm able to use both hands here. Now I'm getting down into to where it's pretty tough to turn. And the head is not, oh, there it popped off just a little bit. But I'm putting a ton of force on this. It feels like it's almost going to break the head of the screw off. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting down to the point where I don't know that I can go much further with this thing. Let's see. Yeah. I'm at pretty much the stopping point of the Tekton here. Now we're going to try the snap-on. Now, I've had this screwdriver for a number of years, so the head is a little bit worn on this thing. But let's see how it does. And as far as the handle, these are really, really close to each other. You could tell size-wise the handle is real close, and it uses the same type of material, the snap-on and the Tekton, as far as the handle type. It really feels pretty close. I think that the snap-on fits into my hand a little bit better, but that could partly be because I have used it for the last, whatever, 10, 15 years. So it's doing pretty good. Having to put a lot of force into this thing. But you can see I'm already getting to the point where it's wanting to skip on the head there. But again, this thing is also severely used. Okay. So I was actually able to drive the Tekton screwdriver down further than the snap-on. Now we're going to move into the Cobalt. Alright, so now we're using the Cobalt. And it too has a nice soft handle. And I almost like the handle on this the best. I feel like it fits into my hand really good. This Tekton handle here, you have these little bumps on it, which obviously the Cobalt you don't. And in some cases, I think you're able to use kind of your thumb and put some extra torque onto it with that, so I do like that. But this is a little bit smaller, and I think I can get a little bit tighter of a grip with it. I do really like the heads of these Cobalts too. Using them over the years, I've been pretty impressed. Yeah, it's driving this screw down pretty good in comparison to those other two. I feel like it's actually doing the best as far as torque, which is kind of surprising. Hasn't slipped off yet. And I'm actually not putting a ton of force straight down. The snap-on and the Tekton, I was putting a lot of force straight down. I'm putting actually more force into moving the handle. And it's not slipping off here. I'm just running out of strength. Oh. Okay, yeah. So this was by far, it drove it down the furthest out of these two, and then got to the point where the screw just broke right off there. So, and it didn't slip off one bit. So very impressed with the tip on that. You're able to put a lot of torque on that handle. The Cobalt did a great job with that. Okay, so now we're moving on. We've got the Klein screwdriver here, and it too uses a soft type handle. It's a little bit different than the Cobalt, the snap-on, and the Tekton. I kind of wonder, like, as far as a mechanic, how long these things, the handles, are going to last. I just feel like maybe they'd get beat up, but at the same time, it is very good quality. It feels like a nice handle. And the tip feels really good, but I'm already struggling just a little bit with the tip. It's not wanting to drive that down. Okay, slipping just a little bit. I have to put quite a bit of force onto the top. So far it's been pretty comparable to the other brands, but I'm getting to the point where it's slipping off the top of the head pretty good. So I'm going to stop right there. And as far as torque, you know, obviously the Cobalt has been the best, then probably the Tekton, Snap-on, and then the Klein. So now we're getting into the final two brands here, and these are going to be the least expensive of the two. Okay, let's see how the Stanley does compared to these more expensive, a lot higher end brands here. You know, Klein, Snap-on, a lot more money for a screwdriver like that. Okay, yeah, it's, you know, it's working as a screwdriver, but now when I get down here to the meat of it, trying to get this thing in there, it's not doing that great of a job. Yeah, that's about as far as I can go, and it's already chewing the tip off. I don't know if that's just chrome plating there, but the tip does look like it's getting pretty beat up. I've got pieces of chrome and metal there flaking off the top of the tip, and I wasn't able to drive it down near as far as the other brands. Okay, so now we're on the final screwdriver, the old trusty Craftsman. Had this Craftsman screwdriver since I was 17, so it is a 20-year-old screwdriver, made in the US. It's got a basic plastic handle, good tip on it, and it's working pretty good. Definitely has more torque than the Stanley does. Kind of feels similar in the Cobalt on how well it fits down in this grabber screw. It's not slipping off very well. I think if it had a better handle on it, it would be a dang good screwdriver. I think the other brands with the better handles, it's hurting my hand to turn this hard. Without having that soft handle on there, I'm not able to give a good grip on it. You can see it's kind of beating my hand up there. So it's definitely the downside to it. I've kind of maxed out what I could do here, but the cool thing is it hasn't slipped off the head yet. It's sticking right in there. And these are all number 2 Phillips heads. So we're comparing the same number 2 in each brand. And these are a number 2 screw head, grabber screw head. So they should all fit into this head relatively the same. So I'm getting down to the point, it's not turning, but I can't go any further. Okay, broke it off. So far as torque, you know, with a nice tip on this, it's working really good. But I wasn't able to do that very easy compared to the other brands. I would say without a doubt, the winner in the torque test is going to be the Cobalt. All right, guys, so there you have it. Now we've got the torque comparison test here. You can see each screw here, how far I was able to drive it down or break the head off. And we've got the Tekton there, we've got the Snap-on, of course the Cobalt, we were able to break it off there, the Klein, the Stanley, and the Craftsman. Alright guys, so now what we're going to do is strip out this screw head here and see how well each brand will do on a stripped out screw head. Now let's try Cobalt. All right, yeah, let's see, that did pretty dang good. Drive it back down again. So each one of these is working pretty dang good. On the stripped head. You can see the Stanley. Look at that. Can't even do anything with it. It's not working worth a crap. Alright guys, this kills me to do this. We're going to take this sledgehammer here and give these screwdrivers a little bit of a durability test. And hopefully my bench survives. We're going to give this a pretty good smack to the handle and see which one takes this sledgehammer the best. So if I don't hit myself and break my leg. Oh! Safety, safety first, sir. Okay, well, still intact. Took a sledgehammer. Now we've got the Klein. Give it a smack. You got Cobalt! Okay, let's see what happens to the Stanley here. Alright, Stanley. Here's a field of tools. So yeah, wow. None of these handles blew apart from that big old sledgehammer there. You could see my workbench didn't like the old sledgehammer there too much, but the handles, the Tekton took a little bit of a beating there on one of its little extra bumps there on the handle, and then you've got the Cobalt, the snap-on took a little bit of a beating, chewed up the handle. The Klein, not too bad. The Craftsman and the Stanley, by far, nothing really happened to those things, and I hit those things pretty dang hard, and you can't even hardly tell. So the handles, definitely with these hard handles, they're going to take a little bit more of a beating than these soft handles, and that's not really a fair comparison because the soft handle is going to take a little bit of a beating. But what I wanted to see is if any one of the handles was going to blow apart, and none of them did. Okay, so here's what you get in the Cobalt set. Now this is a 12-piece set. You can buy it at Lowe's for about 30 bucks. Obviously you get the large flathead and 2 additional sizes there, and you get 3 Phillips, 2 stubbies, and then these come in really handy as well, and I feel that they're really good quality. A lot of times you need one of these small tip screwdrivers, and this is a good addition to the set, along with these, which personally I think are basically useless. You pretty much throw those things away. I mean, there may be a limited case of where you've used them. I have had them for years and have never used those things. So you get a real good overall set. You get basically 4 Phillips, 4 flatheads, plus these 2 smaller pieces. You get a really good variety of what you need. It also comes with a marking. So you've got a number 3, a number 2, number 1. Now you can see that the marking is getting a little bit more worn off. I've had these for quite some time, but I like having the markings because if you have it sitting down into a tool cart, you can see from the top what screwdriver you're grabbing there, like if you've got a service cart in a mechanic standpoint. Those can be really nice to have the markings there on the top. Alright, so one of the key points of having the Tekton set is you actually get 16 screwdrivers, and they're all fairly useful sizes. So it's a good option. Now, Tekton also has 10-piece sets, 12-piece sets. They've got all types of different sets on their websites. This comes in at about $45 for this complete set, You get 8 Phillips heads and you get 8 flat heads in all different sizes, including your stubby screwdrivers. They've got a really nice handle. I like how they've put what size it is. In a mechanic standpoint, this is perfect to have that as it's down into the service cart. So I like that about this set. They've got a really durable, nice shank here on the screwdriver, and the handle is just a really nice handle. I like how they've got these little notches in here. I find that sometimes when you're twisting, you can kind of use the screwdriver, your thumb here, and kind of flip that around. It makes it a little bit faster. I do find that in my hand, when I'm gripping on it like this, that it's kind of uncomfortable for me. I don't like the little notches in it in that type of application where you've got a lot of torque. When you hold the handle like this, it seems to be fairly reasonable. You can kind of put your fingers into the grooves, put your palm into that bigger section, and get some pretty good torque to it. So overall, the handle's pretty nice. This can just be kind of weird when using it sometimes when you're using it like that, those little notches that are there. But overall, phenomenal set. I really like the Tekton screwdriver set. All right, so this is a snap-on set. Now, it's actually an 8-piece set, but I've lost 2 of the pieces over the years. I've had these for years and years and years, and somewhere down the line, I've lost one of my Phillips stubbies here, and also the other Phillips size here. So I'm down to 6 pieces over the 10-15 years I've had this set, but they have been put to use in a professional mechanic setting. They have really served me well. I've loved this screwdriver. They've got a really nice handle, very durable shank, very durable tip. They fit into my hand nicely. I really like the snap-on screwdrivers. A couple things that I don't like about it is, and they may have changed this, but they don't put what size the screwdriver is there on the top, which I always thought was silly. The downsides to this set is it's really expensive. You're going to be somewhere around $160 depending on if you buy it on sale, and it only comes with 8 pieces versus some of the other sets come with 12 and 16. You're a little bit limited, but you do get the main ones that you primarily use. So it's a great screwdriver set. All right guys, so here's what's left of my 17-piece Craftsman Screwdriver Set. Now I don't have all the pieces left anymore. I'm missing a couple of the stubbies and a couple of the others. But it does come with all the primary sizes, plus a couple better, longer options. So you get a lot of options with this 17-piece set. And it comes in at about $30. They come with a really good warranty. They've got a very durable tip, strong shank, and it's a good old reliable, durable plastic handle, which compared to the others, you don't have the size option here on the top, so it can't tell you what size that is in a service cart. And then the handle is just not quite as nice as the others, but other than that, these have been a great screwdriver set. I've had them for 20 years, and obviously over the 20 years, I've lost a couple of the pieces, but overall, this has been a great set of screwdrivers. All right, guys, so here's what you get in the 20-piece Stanley set. Now, you get these things here, which, in my opinion, they're garbage. I've never used these things whenever I've got them in sets. You do get 2 stubbies, which is nice to have, and you get these jeweler screwdrivers, which is nice when you're working on projects that have little tiny screws. That is nice to have. One of the biggest things I'm going to criticize with this 20-piece set is if you look, these are basically the same screwdriver, same screwdriver, same screwdriver, same screwdriver, and this is very close. So you really don't get that many options. When you take these out of it, you've got a lot less options there. You just get some extras here, I guess. If you lose them, you get, a backup, which is nice. Over the years, I've lost a fair share of screwdrivers, but in my opinion, that's kind of silly with this set. And the tip quality is kind of poor. I'm not really big into the tip quality, and I can tell that the shank is not of the strength of the other screwdrivers, and the handles just don't quite feel as strong or as nice. However, for 13 bucks, I do think you get a reasonable set. I can't knock it that bad. You pay for what you get. You really get a fair amount of pieces here. You get a decent handle, decent screwdriver for $13. It's not a bad set. All right, now we've got the Klein Screwdriver Set, and I really like this set. For 58 bucks, I feel like you get a really good quality screwdriver. Some things that are really cool about this is they engrave the size of the screwdriver right here into the top, which means it's more than it's just painted on there. It's actually engraved into the hardened plastic there. It's got a really nice soft grip handle that's gives you a really good grip to it. The shank is really good quality. The tip is very good quality. One thing I don't like is they do roll around kind of easy, which if you're working in the driveway or you're working on the tool bench here, they're gonna roll around just a little bit more. So with this, you get 4 flat heads and you get the 4 Phillips heads. And they're the most common sizes. So you get what you really need in this particular set. You get the stubbies, the main Phillips, the main flatheads. It's a great quality screwdriver that's made here in the US that I think is going to last a long time. It's a very good quality screwdriver for the money. All right guys, so I've created this bit of a scoreboard with all the screwdriver brands. And we've got this total score system. You've got the top half, which is primarily warranty, how many pieces come into the package, the price, where you can buy it. So this is more comparable options that you can compare without actually using the screwdrivers. And then down here is the more important section, in my opinion, and that is the overall use of the screwdrivers, the tip strength, torque, the handle grip, the overall durability of the screwdriver. So what I've done is taken all 6 brands and just kind of put it into a point system. Now the top point system is only worth 1 point per number. So you've got a maximum of 6 points if you're the winner in the warranty. And then down here, these are worth double the points. So 6 would be worth 12 points. And after considering all the screwdrivers and comparing the screwdrivers over the few years that I've used them and through these bits of tests that I've done with them, I've came up with a bit of a score system. Now, granted, it really comes down to what screwdriver you really like to use. Now, I have my personal favorites out of these, and they aren't necessarily the winners. So what you want to buy is what you like. Buy the set that you like to use. But what I've tried to do is compare them a little bit and see if I can help narrow down which is the best value overall. And I came up with actually Cobalt being in first place. It is overall, I feel, the best value when you consider warranty, the quantity of screwdrivers that come in the set, the price, where you could buy them, your purchase options, tip strength, torque, handle, durability, and the overall use. It actually scored in at 74. Now, the second runner-up is going to be the Tekton. And when you consider all the options here, it actually beat the Cobalt in the first section, in this top section, in that it scored a little bit higher, but it didn't score quite as good down here in the second section, but it still scored really well. It came in with a 61 compared to a 74. So my second overall value is going to be the Tekton. So if you're considering buying a screwdriver set somewhere in that mid-grade price level, I would say these two are great options. There's some pros and cons to both. Each have something that's a little bit better than the other, and you really got to decide which one is better for you for what you use it for. Third place actually came up as the Craftsman, surprisingly enough, with the score at 56. It's just a good old classic screwdriver. They're strong, they're durable, they have a lot of torque, they have a lot of power. Overall, you get a really good screwdriver with the Craftsman. It's not a bad screwdriver. So it came in at number 3. Number 4 with the score system is actually the Snap-on, which is one of my personal favorite screwdrivers. And there you go. There's an example of, as far as the score system, one of my favorite screwdrivers is coming in 4th place. But when you consider it's super expensive, it's limited of where you can buy it, and the overall power and torque is pretty comparable to the Cobalt and the Tekton, is it really worth the money? And when it comes to an overall price point as far as buying a screwdriver set, unfortunately the Snap-on comes down in number 4 on the score chart of 48. The fifth is going to be the Klein, which is another surprise to me. I really like that screwdriver. I haven't had a chance to use it a lot. I think that it's a perfect electrician's screwdriver set, but as far as when you consider the price, the options, the torque, what you get, came in 5th. And then the last is the 6th place, and that's the Stanley. Now that is the least expensive set. So if you want an inexpensive screwdriver, it works. I mean, you get a lot of pieces with it. It came in 1st in this top category here because it's designed to kind of sell you without really using it. But when you get down to using the actual screwdriver, it lost in every single category. Overall use, I didn't really like using it. The durability, the reason why it lost in the durability, even though the handle is strong as heck, the shank it bends easy, and the tip started to fall apart on me. So overall, I don't think it's going to last that long. The handle and the grip, what I don't like about the handle is it seems a little bit too small. I don't get a really good grip compared to the other brands. They all have a better handle, and so it lost in that. Torque and power, it doesn't have very much torque and power. It doesn't have very good tip strength. So it lost in this category and is a big reason why it came into 6th place. And I don't think it's a very good value for you. It's only 13 bucks. So, you know, if you want a $13 screwdriver set, you get a lot of options, you get a good warranty, you get some screwdrivers. I'm not saying don't buy the Stanley set, because you know what, it might be perfect for what you need it for. Maybe your kid needs a set of screwdrivers. Perfect. Are you going to use this in a Stanley screwdriver set as a professional auto mechanic? No, I wouldn't recommend that. I don't feel that it's near the quality in a professional setting. However, I think a professional auto mechanic could use a Cobalt or a Tekton and be really happy with it. Along with the general DIY person at home, I think that you're going to be really happy with those. Whether you're an electrician, whether you're a mechanic, whatever that you may do, just do-it-yourself tasks around the house, both of those are a great option, and the price is really reasonable. So, to sum up, the 2 winners are going to be the Cobalt and the Tekton. Hey guys, thanks for watching DIY BRI. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more DIY tips and tool reviews.